Hey guys, I'm Dan.
And I'm Tyler. Congratulations on your recent engagement. We're so excited for you. We know this can be a really stressful season and that you might have a lot of questions. And that's exactly why we created this video, to really help serve you along the way.
We want your entire experience to be as stress-free as possible. We know this video will be a milestone in helping you plan your dream wedding. And we know that because we've been documenting weddings for over 10 years. We met our freshman year of college in a Photoshop class, and what started with, so hey, what's the homework,
has evolved into over 10 years of photographing weddings just like yours.
We've shot hundreds of weddings across the globe and have developed an efficient, thoughtful, elevated, and what we believe is a truly unmatched wedding experience. So let's get right to it. We've broken this video down into chapters. Feel free to watch it all the way through, or you can jump around to just the part you need to reference.
All right, let's jump into wedding day timelines and how we work on a wedding day. No two weddings are alike. However, we do have two timeline templates that we start with, whether you want to do a first look or not. So I'll kind of go through those, but we're gonna start with getting ready for now. To begin, we as a media team will arrive at least 30 minutes early to your location, whether that's getting ready or the venue. We arrive to prep all of our gear, prep our team, come check in with the bride and the groom, figure out where you guys are at. Maybe we might need to scout a little bit. We have apps on our phones that even track the sun. So we'll figure out where the sun is setting, where, at what time. That way, early in the day, we know exactly when we need to be doing sunset newlyweds in the afternoon. After we check in with you guys, we will grab all of your details. So we'll grab the bride's dress, jewelry, heels, veil, if there's any loose florals, all 3 rings. So we'll need, the groom's wedding band, the bride's wedding band, the engagement ring. If you guys have vow books, if you want to bring the garter, if you guys are doing private letters or notes or gifts to each other, all the details, we want all of them. So about the first 30 minutes, we'll grab the dress, we'll hang it up somewhere pretty, maybe inside, maybe outside. If bride and groom are at the same venue, we do make sure that groom is hidden, that wherever we bring the dress, it's gonna stay clean and out of sight. We'll get full-length photo and video details, as well as close-up details of all the little things. Your strap, the beading if there is any, the buttons, the train. We'll get details of the shoes, everything. We'll do flat lays with, if you want to bring like your wedding invites, like I mentioned, all the jewelry. We'll do several versions of that so that we've got detailed photos of everything that's important to you right in the beginning. During this time, hair and makeup is usually kind of wrapping up. And so once hair and makeup is complete, that's when we can kind of do those behind the scenes touch-ups. For that, we will find some pretty window light. We may even move like the exact position that you got your hair and makeup done. Sometimes the spot is great and we can use it, roll with it, perfect. Other times we might move you inside, outside, closer to a window, but we'll keep it really short and sweet. We'll have your hair and makeup artist maybe do, a quick blush, a lip, some hairspray, and we'll direct you through all of this. So you don't have to feel self-conscious or worried about what you look like. We'll tell you how to pose and we'll grab the best angles from there. After that, once like hair and makeup is done for you, maybe mom, bridesmaids, whoever's doing it, we can grab some group photos and videos if you're hiring us for both. So if you and your ladies want to wear matching robes, PJs, t-shirts, athletic wear, whatever you want, whatever your style and vibe is, we can roll with it. So we can do some inside photos, maybe on a couch or a bed. We can go outside, we can do standing. If you want to pop champagne, pop confetti, we can do it. Whatever it really feels true to you. And again, we'll be getting that from on both photo and video and directing you guys through it the whole way. Once we finish up with those hair and makeup touch-ups, those bridesmaids and robe shots, we will have mom, maid of honor, get dressed, and then they can help bride get dressed. Maybe bridesmaids are getting dressed in a separate area, separate room, bathroom, however, just so there's a little bit of division. This also might change depending on the number of bridesmaids you have. If you have 3 bridesmaids, maybe you all just want to get ready together, totally fine. If you've got 16 bridesmaids, maybe you want a little separation. That way you can really have a moment as the bride with mom and maid of honor getting dressed, allow it to just, be slow and natural, not so chaotic. This would also allow us to do a first look with bridesmaids. And that would be like all your bridesmaids got dressed in a separate room. They're all ready to go. We line them up. And then once you're finished getting dressed and doing all your photos with mom and maid of honor, you come out of the room, maybe even outside. Again, it really depends on the space. that we have, the lighting, but you get to do a reveal with your bridesmaids, and it's super sweet. A lot of times there's tears, there's laughter, you can go in for a big group hug. We love doing these. Jumping kind of back to those getting ready with mom and maid of honor shots. We'll do full length photo video, we'll get detail shots, I'll make sure your dress is laying nicely, we'll direct you guys, make sure you feel relaxed, nice and close. We direct you into movement, and so we'll kind of get like mom buttoning, zipping, tying the back of your dress. We'll have you guys going for like a little hug. I'll switch mom out for your maid of honor if you have one, or maybe a sister, and she can help with, you know, a bracelet or a necklace. We'll have you look in the mirror to maybe do your earrings if you wear them, sit down to do your heels, your shoes, put your garter on. And then we can have mom and maid of honor potentially help with the veil, grab some portraits of you like that as well. After that first look with bridesmaids shot, if you want any like full wedding party photos of kind of like getting ready or getting prepped, we can do those as well. After that, we kind of have two options. So sometimes guys want to do staged getting ready photos, and sometimes groomsmen are like, don't really care, let's skip it, let's do it more casual during wedding party time, and that's totally fine. If it's a groom who like loves the getting ready room or really wants to have that time with his guys captured where they're actually getting dressed, they're doing their ties for real, getting those watches on, we can definitely include that timeline wise. So we would leave the ladies, head over to the guys, and do like 20 minutes maybe of them getting ready. Again, pants, shirts already on, we'd kind of just put the jackets, maybe do the tie or bow tie if they wear suspenders, buttoning up the final jacket, watches, you know, the little details, if they all want to go in for a cheers, if they're having a drink, or just a good time. If you're groom and you're like, no, I don't really want that many photos, I don't want to do all that, so I'm gonna have this chill morning with my guys, that's totally fine. We can kind of fake or do like a quick version of that during your wedding party time later. So you'll see that on the timeline. It can either be here after first look with bridesmaids, or it can be a little bit lower when we do your wedding party photos here. Now we're going to talk about your first look options. You could do a first look with dad and or a first look with groom. Doing a first look with dad really doesn't add that much time to your timeline, and it's a really sweet moment for both of you. Whether dad's emotional or not, it really just gives you guys time to see each other early in the day and make dad feel special and get to just have that little moment. We would record this from 2 different angles so that we're getting both bride and dad's reaction for both photo and video. A lot of times we may mic up dad, so if he says anything sweet, we could incorporate that into your highlight film later. If you don't have a strong relationship with dad, we can definitely skip this. Don't feel any pressure. The other option is doing first look with groom. So if you do a first look with groom, that kind of changes the remainder of your timeline until ceremony and right after ceremony. If you choose to do a first look with groom, we would definitely mic him up, and this even gives you guys the opportunity to do private vows. Or if you guys don't want to do a first look, we could always do what's called like a first touch, where you guys maybe go back to back or around a corner if you guys wanted to pray or just say some sweet words before the ceremony. We could do either way. We really never want to sway you guys one way or the other. If a first look feels like it's the right option for you, great. It really does add to a more stress-free day because you're able to get a lot of photos done before ceremony that you otherwise would need to do after ceremony without doing that first look. Plus, bride and groom get to see each other earlier in the day, and like that's the best part. When choosing to do a first look with groom, that would enable us to get all of wedding party and family photos done before your ceremony. So those photos would include bride with each bridesmaid, bride with all the bridesmaids, bride and groom with all the bridesmaids, groom with each groomsman, groom with all the groomsmen, and bride and groom with all the groomsmen, as well as bride and groom with both sides wedding party, all the bridesmaids, all the groomsmen. If you have any flower girls, ring bearers, they would all be included. For each of those, we go through a variety of poses and direction. You don't need to wonder where to look or where to put your hands. We're going to direct you the entire way. I'm super detail oriented, so I'm going to make sure all the ladies are holding the bouquet properly, that your dresses look great, your hair, your jewelry, the whole 9 yards. During your bridal party time, we'll do bride with each bridesmaid and bride with all the bridesmaids, and we work through a variety of poses. So for bride with each bridesmaid, I'll get you guys positioned nice and close. I'll tell you how to hold the bouquet, how to pop your knee, I'll pull your train back, pull your veil forward. We'll start with smiling at the camera, And then you and your bridesmaid will look at each other. You'll cross bouquets and go for a little hug. Then we'll pull the bouquet to the air, get like a little excited one, and then we'll prompt if you want to do anything funny, silly, goofy, if you have an inside joke, so that right off the bat, you're getting 4 poses with each bridesmaid. Then we'll move into the bride with the whole bridal party, and we do a variety of poses. After wedding party is done, we jump right into those family photos. Page 2 of our timeline is our family shot list. And so that lists out every photo we're gonna take during that family time. So it'll list out bride with mom, and you type in mom's name. Bride with dad, you type in dad's name. Bride with mom and dad, etc. If there's any shots on there that don't apply, just let us know and we can remove those. If there's any that you guys need to add, we can do that as well. At the very bottom, there'll be an extra group shot portion. That's where you could put photos with aunts, uncles, cousins, best friends from college, high school, from work, whatever hobby you have, any extra shots that are super important to you guys, we want to be sure to grab. And so you'll be able to fill those in at the bottom. Family photos are super smooth, are so efficient. We work together. Typically Dan will shoot, myself, Tyler will organize. So I go right down the list. I cross it off as I go so I know we don't miss anything. And again, we're posing you guys, we're fixing hair, jewelry, dress, veil, flowers, all of it, so you guys look your best. For these immediate family photos, you'll want grandparents, parents, siblings, and if your siblings have any significant others or kids, you'll want them all there as well. If you choose not to do a first look and want to keep it traditional, not see each other till you walk down the aisle, that's totally fine. We'll just need to get some more photos done before ceremony. So that would look like bride with each bridesmaid, bride with all the bridesmaids, and bride with her individual family side. Then the ladies could go hide, finish prepping, resting, retouching, and we'd bring groom and groomsmen out. So we would do groom with each groomsman, groom with all the groomsmen, and groom with his side of the family. Then you guys would get to go back, rest, maybe greet guests, while we started to prep for your ceremony. Once family photos are complete, you'll get a break and we'll start prepping for your ceremony. This is a great time for you to rest, retouch, maybe grab a snack. During this time, we'll photograph any reception details that are ready for us, ceremony details. We'll get candids of your guests arriving. If you're hiring us for both photo and video, we need this time to prep. So we'll set up our tripods, get our cameras in place, we'll mic the officiant, mic the groom, do a sound check, all of that. If your venue and time allows, we may even get to fly a drone during this time. Next up is your ceremony, which our team will capture from every angle. We'll go into a little bit more details about ceremony videos and what those entail later on in this video. Let us know if you're adding any traditional or unconventional activities during your ceremony, whether you have someone singing live, you're doing communion, lighting a candle. Let us know ahead of time. Some tips we always suggest are to have a really wide ceremony aisle. That way we can fully capture each person walking down, to ask all of your wedding party to stay engaged during the ceremony. We also ask that the bride and groom hold the kiss or kiss once or twice. Feel free to rearrange your arms. That way you really like your photo. Sometimes you're just so excited and you go right in for it and it may look a little awkward. You might want to move your arms, something like that. So take your time. We are all here to literally see you guys kiss. As you guys walk back down the aisle, don't forget to grab your bouquet, walk nice and slow, but let's see the excitement like you guys are married. If you guys want to stop halfway down the aisle or at the end to kiss or dip, feel free, we're there to capture it. We do always suggest an unplugged ceremony. We know how important iPhone photos can be to your family and friends, so even having your officiant, let everyone take their phone out for a moment at the beginning of your ceremony to grab a quick photo is so helpful. More often than not, even when you have an unplugged ceremony, there's always someone who wants to lean into the aisle with their phone. As your vendor team, if you've requested an unplugged ceremony, we will go along the aisle and kind of remind those that it is an unplugged ceremony and to please put their phones away, to be sure not to lean in. That way they're not getting in any of our footage, they're not getting in your way, and you have a distraction-free ceremony. So your wedding ceremony is over and you're officially married. You guys have 2 different options here. So if you did the first look, then you got all of your wedding party and family photos done before your ceremony, and we just get to celebrate and do newlyweds together. Those are super fun. A A lot of times Dan and I will do the pose for you guys, so you don't have to worry about where to put your hands or where to look. We're gonna direct you through all of it. We do a lot of action poses, that way it feels very natural. We'll have you guys kiss, walk, spin, do all of it. Don't worry about where to put your hands or where to look. We'll direct you guys through it. If you didn't do a first look, then we're now gonna jump into your full wedding party photos and your full family photos. And this is where that shot list that I mentioned comes into play. So this would be bride and groom with bride's side individually, several different listings, bride and groom with groom's side individually, several different shots, and then we would do bride and groom with both sides together. If you needed to do any aunts, uncles, cousins, extended family photos, we may be able to squeeze them in here, but typically we would request those to be during reception, maybe during table greeting time. Once your newlyweds are done, you will get to go back and rest, maybe grab a drink, a bite, get your dress bustled, maybe do some retouching. If you guys have time and want to join cocktail hour, that might be an option. That's something we can discuss with your venue and coordinator closer to the wedding day as well. During this time, we're gonna start prepping for your grand entrance. So we'll leave you guys for a little bit. We'll get all ready for grand entrance, check in with your coordinator and DJ, and make sure everyone's on the same page. Next, you'll have your grand entrance. Maybe it's just bride and groom, maybe it's bride and groom with your entire wedding party, maybe you introduce a bridesmaid with a groomsman, or you just have all the bridesmaids come in at once and then all the groomsmen come in at once. That's super fun and really efficient. They can all line up, you can get a big group photo, and then you can maybe go into your first dance, followed by a welcome speech or prayer to kind of kick off dinner. You could also wait and do your first dance after dinner before you do potentially mother-son and father-daughter as well. Next, we'll go into your dinner service. This is when we all get to eat. We do request that vendor meals come out around the same time as the bride and groom meals. That way we're eating while you guys are eating. You don't want any photos of you eating, and this would be our first break of the day. Typically, we'll finish eating at the same time, and then we'll be ready to jump into the next activity, whether that's speeches or table greetings. You have a couple different options when it comes to table greetings. Some couples are like, yes, I want to hit every table, and that's totally fine. We just need to make sure there's enough time in our timeline to do that. Other couples just kind of want to get up and mingle, say hi maybe to those who are elderly or flew in from out of state, and that's okay too. We can either grab candids of you guys saying hi to everyone, or we can do group table photos. Sometimes those photos could be at the table themselves, or what we prefer is asking each table to come to your head table or to somewhere on the dance floor or a specific photo spot. Those photos will look a lot more consistent. They'll have great light, a prettier backdrop, and be a little more print worthy than you guys going table to table, where the lighting is going to change at every table. There's food out. They're not as pretty, but they definitely document who is there. So it really just depends on your preference. Next, we'll likely jump into speeches or toasts. We will team up with your DJ and coordinator, as well as those who are giving the toasts, to make sure they're all mic'd up if we're doing video. Again, Dan will jump into video and what that looks like for speeches films a little bit later on. But we'll always ask the speaker to stand really close to your head table. That way they're in both like the wide shots and the tight shots. These are some of our favorite because we feel like we really get to know the couple. If you can believe it, we had 9 speeches at our wedding. And the next day, we couldn't remember a single word, which is why we're so thankful that we had hired a video team to capture those special moments for us. This is truly why we started offering video, because we felt like we weren't delivering a full wedding day. Video allows us to capture audio in a way that photos simply can't. I guarantee you'll wake up the next morning and you won't remember a single word anyone said. Our speeches film will allow you to sit down and rewatch all of your speeches beginning to end from multiple camera angles with full audio. These memories are priceless and something that you'll never get to experience again if you don't have them recorded.
Over the past 14 years, I've witnessed Megan prioritize everyone's happiness, but today we got to honor hers. Megan and Brandon came into each other's lives when they needed each other most. As I look at Megan and Brandon today, I see 2 people in the most loving, trustworthy, and nurturing relationship I've ever witnessed. My kids are so lucky to be loved by you guys. The truth is, everyone in this room is better for knowing you, Megan. You love deeply, selflessly, and unconditionally. I know that Brandon is the best partner for you because I've seen him mirror these traits for you.
During or after dinner, depending on what time sunset's at, we may want to go back out for some husband and wife newlyweds. This would allow us to capture golden hour and that dreamy light. During these newlywed photos, we really try to use as much of your venue as we can. We'll look for spots with backlight or good shade and pretty foliage. This can change throughout the year, and even venues that we work at regularly, we're constantly finding new places to shoot depending on the time of year and where the sun's at. Whether you chose to do a first look or not, everything from grand entrance until the end of the night should take the same amount of time now. If you didn't do your first dance after grand entrance, then you can do it after dinner, before your mother-son and father-daughter dances, if you choose to do those. You could go directly into your cake cutting and then bouquet or garter toss before open dance. Something we love doing and partnering with your DJ on is inviting all your guests to the dance floor for a big group photo. DJs typically love this because it gets more guests to the dance floor than maybe would have initially come out. Then they play some amazing fun song and you've already got lots of guests out there. Or some DJs like to open up the dance floor after those parent dances and then break to do cake cutting and bouquet or garter toss a little bit later. Just keep in mind, if you do want this captured, then they need to be within our set number of hours for the day. Let us know if you guys are interested in doing any other reception activities, such as the money dance, anniversary dance. If having a send-off at the end of the night isn't the most important thing to you, then we really don't need to stay till the end. You really don't need us for more than 30 to 45 minutes of open dance time to capture the most energy. If you're not doing a send-off and all the formalities are done, we could be off at this point. If a send-off is really important to you and you want to keep us till the end, there's several different options you could go with. You could do the sparklers, confetti, bubbles. People could just make a tunnel that you run through. We don't always recommend foam sticks or glow wands because we typically light your send-off and they wouldn't glow in our footage. Before your exit, we love when couples have a private dance. This is a really sweet and romantic time to just have the two of you on the dance floor. We're able to capture it while the rest of your guests get lined up for your send-off. So that was a detailed timeline of what a typical wedding day looks like for us and how long we take to kind of capture each event. Obviously, every wedding day is different and we can customize these to fit your needs. But we hope this gave you a good overall idea of a wedding day and the number of hours you'd potentially need to hire for photo and video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this whole video. As a reminder, feel free to email us any questions you had, or we're happy to jump on a call.
And we look forward to talking with you really soon.